So, I mean, you talk a lot about like struggles, and we talk about like obstacles and things that, you know, maybe not fully trusting people, but what do you feel have been like the positive lessons from all this, right? You talked about right now you realized your potential from, you know, leaving one producer and doing something else. What have been some of the positive things that have come out of this for you?
I think just learning,
Mm-hmm.
being able to see it and see how everybody does things, and then paying attention, getting all the points, like being able to manage a camera. Like for example, like, you know, now that we have a studio, like the creative studio, is just being able to create this building and make this whole group and us grow as individuals and learn from each other to be able to accomplish different things, different projects. I feel like I've learned from music not only how to like obviously warm up vocals and stuff like that, recording, but what's the right way is not really the right way. There's no right way for this type of career. I feel like this whole painting on like, oh, this is the perfect painting. It's not. It doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's no degree, there's no guarantee, but there's this one risk taker, and if you're willing to give it all that, it's worth it. I feel like at the end of the day, it's worth it. The satisfaction of being on stage, the satisfaction of being able to build and create is just. I think that's the most amazing thing in the world. I think being able to bond as a family has been something really positive. I think being able to see how much your parents can do for you, for a child, or like in my case, from everything that I had my parents, like being able to see them like, oh, like, damn, like even though I don't have kids, that my parents actually did all that for me, and being able to be blessed for that, like. It's amazing being able to see how much people appreciate the support, and like the people I love you, how much, you know, seeing their true colors is like, it's a positive. It's definitely a good positive, and I'm just happy to be kind of following something that I decided to take the risk, and it's kind of somehow working out.
Yeah, no, it's definitely working out. So along the way, you've kind of created a persona, right? Because your name is Manny Lopez Amet.
Manuel Lopez Amet.
Manuel Lopez Amet. But your stage name is Manny Loam. So how did that kind of come to be? Like, where did that come from?
So Manny as Manuel. You
right.
know, growing up, everybody knew me as Manuel or Manny or Menin. No, they knew me as Manuel in school and then Menin at home. So obviously, I love Manuel, they call him Meños, and then because I was a junior, Menin. But with time, Manny was more like, I feel like it sounded more nicer.
More adult.
More adult.
It's a different stage of your life, so you're trying to be more mature.
And then there was a friend that his last name was Lopez, so I was like, it can't be Manny Lopez because he was a DJ, so I can't do that. We're already friends, it already exists. So then I was like, and adding to that, I didn't want it to do like just Lopez. It sounded so like just Lopez, just that. And then my mom has, my maiden name is Ahmed. So I was like, okay, the Lebanese part comes in here, plays, you know, this is kind of like, it's a marketing strategy. Like, you're able to grow, like, people are going to pay attention to that. So then that's what I decided to do. I'm like, you know what works? People are going to be attracted. So I started paying attention to what the community wanted and what they wanted to see. I started watching YouTube videos of like ways to market yourself, ways to do things. I didn't have the knowledge of a professional, but I was looking and paying attention to what they did, so I was able to incorporate. So then they was like, okay, Ahmed, my dad was like, nah, like how am I going to be investing in Ahmed and blah, blah, blah. So then I was like, okay, but no head, it's going to be Lopez Ahmed. So it's going to be the first two letters of both my last names. Right. So that's kind of how it came up. Originally the logo was like Manny and then capital M-O. And then capital A, and then lowercase m. So it was like that. Then it evolutioned to Loam by itself, and then it just kind of went from there on. So
I like that. Along with your name, a big part of you is your style, right? Your look and your feel is always very unique to you. You started off with a beanie, right? You used to wear beanies when you sang bachata, and then you had this like signature hat. You're not wearing a hat today.
Yeah, I know.
So what happened with your hat?
No, I still wear. So I'm in a transition. So it goes back to the same thing. I think a lot about marketing. I think a lot about the visual of being on stage or marketing ways or thinking of just way that people are going to remember you. I feel like it's important that, I don't want to be that one person that gets on stage and they just hear my voice and recognize it. I want them to also remember me by how I look. So I care a lot about image. I love a lot of fashion. I'm really into fashion. I like designing and different things. Not something I've also pursued yet. I'll probably go and eventually open a boutique or something. But so beanies were my marketing strategy for the bachata. I was like, I wear it everywhere, even if it was hot. I was like, no, I'm gonna wear it on stage. I'm gonna wear this in a certain style because that's what artists do. Like they want to maintain that rotation of like keeping on the branding. It's all branding. Eventually, I transitioned a little bit, and it was to the hats. Like whenever Milenio started, after my whole stopping point for a while, the hats were a thing. Like I was like, okay, you know what? I'm involved in rodeo, this norteño scene. I'm not a cowboy, so I don't want to be a cowboy. So then I was looking for this perfect style of boots and hats, and I was like, what do I change? Can I do where I can fit in, but at the same I don't have to be like everybody else. Like I want to bring this uniqueness into this what represents me. So then the hat started for a while. So then I did Milenio I continued doing it, but I did it for a while. And then not only did I start focusing now on my hats, but then I was like this year, the last 2 years, it was like, okay, well, how do I incorporate everything? So my marketing strategy was more like, okay, well then I want to be, it's kind of weird, but it's like I want to be a sex symbol, like I want to be sexual, like I want to be able to be like marketable, more approachable, I want to look younger, I want to be able to attract different age groups. So then I feel like the hat was more like for the older crowd, but the younger crowd was not following me, and that's why I needed to market too. So I'm giving y'all strategies on how y'all do, but that's what I started looking at. So then that's where the long hair, I'm trying to go for what's trendy, and then lately I've just been kind of switching, mixing up, and really learning how to brand myself and process it, not keeping it the same, keep it evolution slowly, like growing into somebody. And hoping that after these 8 years I can actually say like, this is the next step, and appreciating every part and at the same time merging them all together.
Right. And you talk about evolution and merging and moving forward. So you moved from bachata and you come into this norteño tejano scene with your group Milenio. Mm-hmm. How did all of that kind of come to be?
Well, originally it was a bachata and pop. It was like very sin bandera, very caminada, very like slow. Then the bachata was like my dancing. I love dancing salsa and hanging out with Colombians, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, and growing in such a diverse city. It was all about that. Like it was all about diversity and growing up with a little bit of everything. So that's where the bachata was trending. I went with that, and then just kind of followed that. And then from there, I kept going, and it was just my midpoint, kind of like trying to let go, after a few years. It was like, it wasn't working out. It's a lot of money invested. And I was just like, am I really going to do this? Am I willing to risk everything? And so I tried to back away for a few years, but my parents decided to open up a norteño club. And, they had all these new business areas. And I was like, you know what, like, they're never going to accept me, being a gay man in the norteño scene, there's never going to happen. So it was like I kind of stopped myself from pursuing that, but then eventually it was so easy for me to just jump in it, and then there was influence of other friends that like, why not, Mm-hmm. and kind of like pushing and having that backbone and support of like my own people to be able to be like, you can do it, in the U.S. a lot of things happened throughout those years too, gay rights and being, the Orlando shooting, like there are different things that gave open eyes to a lot of people. I never really saw the gay community as a big impact. So then I decided to just like go publicly, say it instead of hiding, and just kind of like, engage in everything that I wanted and just do it, taking advantage of everything that I had around me. The club, norteño scene. I grew up with norteño. I grew up with duelo, intocable, pesado. I never really saw me pursuing that, to be honest, in a norteño scene, but I never also liked limiting myself. So then Rene Rodriguez, our MC, was like, man, I'm a writer and I sing, and I write these songs and maybe you should pursue it. And then later on, like one of my close friends decided, you know what? We went to a trip to Monterrey and we saw this band that sang like kind of like reggaeton mixed with old school La Firma and Duelo, and I was like, man, like this band plays a little bit of this and this and that. And then we were like, what if we merge it together? And then after a few drinks, we're like, let's just try it. Like we don't lose anything. And influenced by that, we came back to Houston, and we started a band. For that same year, for my birthday, I decided to do a big party, have a band, get some suits, blazers, and have a norteño band. It was so weird, but
you were the norteño band.
We were the norteño band. So I started up the first logo. We did a logo with the norteño and the cowboy and everything like that. Eventually, it turned into like, okay, well, but I'm a cowboy. I don't see myself as a cowboy. Mm-hmm. Like I like dressing up cowboy for the rodeo because it's Houston rodeo, but
you're from Texas.
I'm from Texas, but I'm not like a real cowboy. And I don't like all types of boots, and I don't like all types of different things. So then I found out about different brands and I liked the different styles of doors, and I always liked a lot of the style of what's this guy called? I always remember. Indiana Jones.
Oh, Indiana
Jones.
Ah, yes. Now that you say it, that's very yourself.
So it was very like Indiana Jones. They're like, oh, you look very Indiana Jones, and nobody in Houston would do it. So I was like, you know what? I like that Indiana Jones. Mm-hmm. Like I do like that Indiana Jones vibe, and then I started looking in stores, and then one of my good friends, Josh, that is also part of the creative studio, he took me to the store in the Galleria Cuadra, and they were just like, they had some influence in it, and then it started trending more, so I bought every hat in there slowly. Like I started, this is gonna be my image, and eventually it just kind of turned into that. And I turned everybody denims and style, so I try to bring the pop and the whole
norteño traditional,
scene. So I took advantage of what I had and made it my own, and I was able to grow it. And then same thing with the music, just kind of like transition from real norteño to a little bit of a fusion of reggaeton and norteño, and a little bit of salsa and norteño, and it's just cumbia. So that's what it's turned into.
What is like the biggest thing that you want people to know, or the one single thing that you want people to know about your music and about you, and why you pursued this career?
I think the one thing that I would want I think what it is just, I just want to show that anything's possible. I think that's my biggest thing, like that there's no limits to whatever you want to reach, Yeah. I think that's the lesson, if you could say, that I want to show, the legacy that I want to leave. It's like, dude, you can do it. And I want to be an example of like, if I can do it, you can do it.
Right.
Why not? Who limits you? Like what limits you? I mean, in this country, I feel like that's what we talk about, right? Like that's what our parents came from our countries to the U.S. That's why every immigrant person in the U.S. feels like, right? The great land. So yeah, that's what it feels like. I feel like I have the duty to do as much as I can that I'm limited to do, and take advantage of everything, all the great things that I was able to have. Because if I feel, as an example, is for my parents, is like if they're coming from nothing and building a certain amount, I feel like I want to get to their level of success or more, Because if they were able to reach this goal without no help, I feel like me, by having their backbone and their help, I should be able to grow more, I see them as my heroes, and I see them as a great example of who I am and like why I do things. And slowly, with my fiance, we kind of incorporate that in our relationship too, because I feel like we can get to a lot of places, and I dream big. I like living a certain lifestyle. I like enjoying being around people. I like communicating. I like building. I like businesses. You know me. I like creating, and I feel like I like building teams and finding strategies of, if there's a problem, find a solution. If people need this, let's get this done. So I get really excited about all that. So I think being an example of success is like a big thing for me, and just that anything's possible.
What we talked a little bit earlier behind the scenes about your favorite sayings, right? And you said you had a couple that you really like and that you go to. What are they, and why are they so important to you?
Well, the one that I always brag about is, and that I always kind of say, it just always hit me, and I put it a lot on my social media, is tan grande que todos quieren alcanzarte, pero tan humilde que quieren estar a tu lado. You know, so it's just like, you want to be so big, you want to be so, like, it's so important that everybody wants to reach where you are. You want to reach the stars, and I want to be up in the stars, and I want to reach it. But I also always want to stay humble, where it's like everybody wants to hang out with me. I don't want to reach my biggest potential and without nobody. I want to be able to bring everybody with me and just grow together. So whoever sticks around and has seen me grow, like, I don't want to be somebody that feels superior. I want to feel somebody that as a team we grew, as a personality, like, you're able to call me, or, you know. I know it's hard. I know it's not easy. I know that maybe sometimes you get to a level where that's not possible. But I just feel like even the impossible is possible. You know, like, I feel like I want to be that. I want to be able to be that difference, where it's like, tan humilde, you know, just stay on my level, stay with my feet in the ground. But I want to be so great. Like, I want to be somebody. You know, and that's what I'm working for. It's not a gift. I'm not gifted. I'm not royalty. I'm actually, like, working on becoming that person.
So, with all of that said, what's next for you? What's your next big dream and the next big goal that you want to reach?
I need to reach there. That's why I want to get to that potential. No, I'm living, honestly, I said it a few years ago on a trip that we recorded, and I say it again. I'm living my best life. We talked about me, 6-year-old Manny, like what I tell my 6-year-old Manny. And I think I want to be having the same fun and the same living, having a lot of friends, and growing even more friends, and understanding life as enjoying every day for its moment, and just being able to grow more as a person. I feel like every day is a lesson, every day is a reason to smile. I feel like there's always something positive and everything negative. I try to live with it. We all go through depression, anxiety, and stress, and sad. But I feel like I always fight through it. Like, I always try to find something good in everything bad, you know. I feel like we're in this world in a transition to grow, and I feel that slowly I've been growing. And 3 years ago, I probably wouldn't have expected myself having a studio and having my own production team and being able to grow, you know. And I've taken advantage of what I built here and then share it. So I feel like by sharing and growing, I've been able to do all that. So I'm living my best life. The next level is growing it, making it bigger. You know, obviously money is a big thing. Like, for you to build, you have to get money, perfect credit, grow. We're in the land of the free, so we just get to do a lot of that stuff. And I feel like building a team, a higher team that you're able to grow with and build something with, I think that's really important to me. So following my music career, getting to another level of, like, reaching more people and expressing my passion while being in business, I think it's a big part. I don't want to be just a singer and just the image. I want to be able to business guy. That's part of that is the image, but part of him is the business part too. Understanding from being, like, picking up the bags to singing on stage. Like, I don't really want to be, like, reaching the goal without having to work for it. So,
what is some advice that you would give to someone who is starting in the industry, right? There's a lot of young kids who aspire to be artists and to be someone. What is your biggest advice to the younger generation who's trying to make it, or trying to even figure out if this is for them?
I was gonna say, don't do it. I'm just kidding. No, just anything's possible. I think you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And I know I want to get there, and I know I will get there. So I know you can too. So I feel like just be disciplined, be consistent, be new, innovate, bring ideas. It's not easy, but it's possible. So I feel like just practicing vocals, working not only vocals, working on your body, your image. I mean, you have to look at all everything, the whole picture. You can't just focus on one thing. You have to look at the whole picture. You're a product to sell. you're proud of people, you have to be as transparent as you can and just show your true passion. If it is your passion, do it. If it's not, or you're not too sure if you want to follow it, don't do it. You know, a lot of people quit, but it's because it's not that they just want to quit. It's not easy. It's not for everyone. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a hard business. There's no degree. There's no guarantee, and you sometimes keep on dying trying. But at the end of the day, you have to enjoy every single moment, every single day, and enjoy the process. If you don't enjoy the process, then you're never going to be successful. Because success is every day. It's not, I'm there to the top. It's every day you grow and grow and grow and then keep on going. Enjoy it. Practice, learn, listen, pay attention to every aspect of it. Look at the big picture.